So, Holly, how would you complete this sentence? Living your best life means.
Living your best life means evolving, exhaling, and exercising at 60.
Let's Welcome to Living Your Best Life with Dr. Sheila, the show where ambitious women learn to thrive without burning out. And when you do so, you become a power boss. I am so excited about our special guest today, actress, author, and philanthropist, Holly Robinson Peete, and there's no telling what other titles she has added to her credentials. And we're going to talk about starting 2026 with joy. I want to welcome Holly to the stage. Holly, you have served on, I had the honor on serving on the Hollywood Foundation board. I've attended your foundation events. You are such an amazing person. You're not just a celebrity, you are a real person. And that's why I really thought you would be the perfect person to talk to our guest today. So let me welcome you in, and you are open to share and just welcome yourself to our audience.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I absolutely am thrilled to talk to you just how we talk normally. So, to share our conversations with everyone, I think will be fun. I
Mhm.
love the idea and the narrative of this
Mhm.
podcast, Living Your Best Life. We toss that term around often, but boy, right now, especially in 2026, I'd say before every new year, we need to reevaluate what that really means for each one of us. So I thank you for having me, and I'm looking forward to this conversation.
That's why I started this, because I realized, especially last year, there is no way possible that I can wait until things are going great in my life to find joy, to live with happiness, and live my best life. And living your best life does not mean that you're going on this amazing trip or got a new house, a new car, or it can be, but living your best life is so simple. It
Yeah.
encompasses peace and self care and wellness and helping others, all these amazing things. And when we're able to incorporate these things in our lives, we truly are living our best life. So let's just kick it off. You
Yeah.
turned, let's see, I'm going to let you share in September with Virgo sisters. You had a special birthday in September, and I read that you're embracing what you call the three E's. Share with us about that.
My birthday, I had a big birthday, but it was kind of a big-ish birthday because my big birthday was in 2024. On the fours, I always turn another decade. So the last
Mhm.
one was 61. And but 60, I wanted to do this big party and I didn't end up doing it. I was working at the time. So I was in Atlanta and I just gathered some local friends and just we had fun at a restaurant. But I kept saying I really wanted to celebrate it because not everybody gets to that age. I absolutely do embrace my age. I have a mother who is about to turn 90 and the whole world knows because
Yes.
she's told them. I believe she has a t-shirt that says I'm gonna be 90 in 2 months.
Yes.
She is the antithesis, the opposite of age phobic. So that's who raised me. So I've never shied away from my age. And I think that we should celebrate every year, but especially those big milestones.
Yes. And so, it's like my mom will turn 93 next month. And so I agree with you, seeing them, and she just exudes joy. And I know that your mom does. And we're just so blessed to see what life really means. So I want to ask you a question. As you start 2026 off, what does living with joy mean to you?
Oh my goodness, so many things, so many things. But I would say living with joy means finding something positive every single day to be grateful for. If you find something positive in your life and you count your rainbows and not your thunderstorms, you will really live your best life. Like you said before, it's not about the new car. It's not about necessarily the new job. It can be those things, but at the end of the day, it's about what are you grateful for among the things that you already have? And waking up grateful is such a blessing to yourself and to the people around you. So I mean, among 1,000 things, that's the first thing that came to mind.
That is beautiful. And that is what this audience needs to hear. So you have had an incredible 5-decade career, and you always share about the ups and the downs, the challenges. And people often think that celebrities and you're a famous person, that your success means no challenges. Talk to us a little bit about success and fulfillment, and how there have been times when success was not joy and you had to overcome those challenges.
Well, first of all, Dr. Sheila, let me go back because I forgot my 3 E's. My 3 E's are evolved, exhaling, and exercising. Those are the 3 E's I'm taking into 2026. I have been around for a minute in this business. I started my career on a little show called Sesame Street. My dad was Gordon, and you would think,
Hmm.
okay, nepotism, but he made me wait a long year before I got on that show because he knew if I went on, I was going to be doing too much because I was that
Yes.
type of girl at 6 years old. But I've been really blessed to have this long career. Life is not about all the successes, it's about the journey and how you learn from the things that don't always go your way. The difference between success and fulfillment is that, you have to know that when you get those no's, when you get the things that happen to you that really hurt your feelings, they are character building. I know that it's hard to feel that in the moment, but that's exactly what you will take into your next experience. How can I avoid that no? Or could I even have any control over something like that? So the things that go wrong for you are your lessons. Those are your building blocks. Those are your bricks on your road during your journey. And the sooner we really embrace that lesson, the better our lives will be. And it's what I tell my kids all the time. They hear from me, so it's like wah wah Charlie Brown teacher, but they hear from me all the time. Those failures are part of your success. They are your road to success. I try to instill that in them early because the earlier you embrace that, the better outlook you'll have on life. And you won't stress yourself out about things that you think are the end of the world when in reality, they're really not that deep.
And speaking of kids, I often tell women, you can have a family and a career. You're managing 4 now adult children. And talk a little bit about one of your children that led you to start the Holly Rod Foundation, and how you've been able to, I don't want to say manage, but how you have been able to strategically, successfully raise a beautiful, phenomenal family and have a successful career as well.
Well, thank you for saying that. I'm proud of my adult kids. I keep calling them kids, but they're grown. Um, but it was actually my dad that led me to a life of philanthropy because he had Parkinson's disease, and I was desperate to help him. But in during that journey, I found out that so many families that are experiencing Parkinson's didn't have the access to resources that we did. So that's what sort of led me to a life of philanthropy. Later on, when my son was diagnosed with autism, we expanded that mission. But those two things, Parkinson's and autism, really taught me so much about giving back. And I remember when I got the diagnosis of autism for my son, there was a lady in the waiting room, Dr. Sheila, and she was like a ghost. Like you see those movies like Scrooge, where it's like someone tells you what life would be like in your future, or this moment right now is going to be such a blessing. But I was devastated by this diagnosis. This was my first, I was a rookie mom, my first kids, they were twins. My husband was away playing football. We were so madly in love, as you are a couple years into your marriage.
Mhm.
Um, and life was just so beautiful. So to get this diagnosis of autism and be told all these things he would never do was just a real kick in the gut. And go into the waiting room, and there was a woman in the corner, and she kind of looked at me and said, "Don't worry, one day you'll find out that autism is a blessing. It will be a blessing in your life." Now, at that moment, that is not what I wanted to hear, Dr. Sheila. I was not trying to hear that. I wanted to just feel sorry for myself.
Mhm.
And it wasn't until many years later that I really realized that that woman was speaking the truth. Autism and my work with autism and the families we've met, my son's journey, it has become the biggest blessing in my life. I've been able to talk to so many different families, counsel them, help them, and give them the hope that I didn't have when I got the diagnosis. So it just is odd to me, but I talk about that later. I wish I could find her because she definitely knew that eventually I would come to understand that this journey was a blessing. And so that's something that I carry with me all the time.
What a prophecy. If you don't mind sharing the things they said that he would never do and what he actually did and what he's doing now.
So we call this diagnosis day of autism for RJ the never day because the developmental pediatrician ran down this list of things that he would never do. Oh, it was so long. It was, he would never mainstream in school. He would never have meaningful relationships. He would never say, I love you, never play team sports. He would never live on his own, never drive his own car, never have meaningful employment. Did I already say that? Because that one really sticks out.
Mhm.
So many things he would never do. He would never have get married. Gosh, there were so many. But now when I look at him all these years later, he has a meaningful job. He is the clubhouse attendant for the World Series, back-to-back World Series champion, Los Angeles Dodgers. He
Awesome.
has 3 World Series. He will get his third World Series ring as being a part of this Dodgers family. He drives. He just recently, hot off the presses, and you don't even know this, Dr. Sheila, that he just moved out because one of the nevers was he would never live on his own. He moved out a few months ago. I found him an apartment.
Congratulations.
Hey, 5 minutes from Dodger Stadium because he couldn't handle the LA traffic. It was really stressing him out, as it stresses all of us out. But
Exactly.
especially for him, he couldn't process that having to sit and wait. And we found a place for him 5 minutes from Dodger Stadium. Takes him 5 minutes to get to work every morning, which is great because sometimes he works till 2 in the morning, and I do not like him on these freeways at two in the morning. Those are just some of the nevers that she said, and he's checked almost all of them off of his list. He's not married yet. He doesn't have a partner, but almost all the other ones he's checked off. And we go back to this list very often to sort of do a state of the union for RG and see his progress.
As a member of your board, and I've had the opportunity to attend your events the past years, I met him. He's amazing. He's spoken, he's emceed, he's modeled, he's incredible. And Holly, I cannot share with you how blown away that I was when I first saw you actually um, honor families and women and men who too are working diligently to make life easy and simple for anyone that has been diagnosed with Parkinson's or autism. My nephew has been diagnosed with autism, and everything I have learned, I'm passing it on to my family. So I am so honored um, to be a part of the work that you're doing. I've watched you work a room with such grace and energy. You make everyone seem that they are being seen and they're valued. Um,
Mm.
I remember when I first met you, I didn't even know you that well. And I was like, Holly, is Sheila, can I take a picture with you? And you were like, I know who you are. Come on, take this picture. How do you give so much to others, not only your family, not only your career, not only the people, your fans. How do you fill your cup when you're constantly pouring to others? How do you do that and make time for Holly and make sure that you keep your own joy?
Well, first of all, thank you for all those kind words. Dr. Sheila, I've been very humbled over my lifetime by lots of different things. And Parkinson's and autism were things that humbled me. I was my dad's caregiver at 19 when I was in college. I tried to drop out. He wouldn't let me to just take care of him. So I've experienced things in my life that have made me very, I don't know, normal. Yeah, I see those things, celebrities, they're just like us. I mean, I pump my own gas, I do my own stuff. I'm not that sort of lady. They're out there, and I know a lot of them, and that's fine for them. But I'm a very get my hands dirty type of girl. I'm on here with all this makeup and doing my thing right now, but I am down and dirty when it comes to life. I get in the weeds, and so I am very appreciative of people. I love to see people. I love to meet people, and I do pour from my cup, and I'm mostly running on empty. I have to fight hard to fill my cup. I always put everybody in front of myself, and that's what a lot of women do. They always put themselves last in line. So has to be a very concerted effort that I put forward to get out there, give myself a day, go to the spa for a day, even just go to the beach, take a book and read, a nap. Naps are lovely. That's something I'm going to treat myself more to in 2026.
Mhm.
But it's something that we women who do a lot have to make time for. We cannot caregive. We cannot walk through life putting everyone in front of us. We cannot raise children or run businesses or run foundations or do the things that we do unless we stop and give ourselves some love. So that's one of my big New Year's resolutions, to do that more often. It was also my resolution last year, but my resolution this year is just to keep doing that, to keep giving back to me, to keep loving on myself. It's very cliche. We hear it all the time, but you can't you you can't take care of others in the best way possible if you don't take care of yourself. So the way I do it is to schedule it. I write it down. I put it in my schedule. Today is a me day. Don't bother me. I tell them kids and that husband and them dogs, don't bother me all day. I'm going to have a day to myself. And they know that when mommy goes and hooks herself up, uh, she's happier and easier to be around. So they're like, "Oh, good, you're doing a day for you. Go do that." Um, but that's very, very important that we do this.
So let's talk about another crown that you wear. Speaking of husband, I've seen you and Rodney together. I want to hear a little bit about your journey, how many years you've been together. I've seen you guys hosting Queen's Court and King's Court. That's almost a full time job. How do you do it? And you do it with joy and not burn out.
Well, here's what I will say. Rodney and I have been together for 30, almost 33 years now, married 30 years. We have had I mean, all in all, we have had a really beautiful relationship. But we have had our ups and we have had our downs, and we have struggled at many times. We've always continued to choose each other. So that's the main thing. The main theme with us is keep choosing each other. But we have had some tough times. We have navigated that through therapy. We've done a lot of couples therapy. We've navigated that through taking time to really give back to each other. It's an effort that, people say marriage is 50-50. I think marriage is 100-100. You've got to be available, or at least make an effort to give 100% of yourself 100% of the time. Now, is that realistic? No, because life's, and that's not always just not going to happen. You might have 40% and I might have 60. Some days you'll have 10 and I'm going to have 90, but at the end of the day, we've got to pick up the slack for each other and make that commitment to give back when the other person doesn't have it. So this is partnership. This is what you do when you're at work. If your coworker is coming in dragging, I got you today. Don't worry, I'm gonna pick it up for you today. It's the same with relationships, and I think that's why we've made it this far. We've also surrounded ourselves by a lot of other couples who are a few decades in like us. We lean on each other. So we have a very tight knit, small group of couples and friends who want us to win. And I find that when you surround yourself with people who want you to win, who love you as a couple, they're going to support you. When you let people in who are either jealous or feel some kind of way or They wish that life had gone a certain way for them and it's not. And so they kind of feel some kind of way about you. Those are people that you should keep on the periphery. I don't believe in shutting people out, but I do believe in arm's length relationships. And once you get to a certain age, I'm certainly there, over 60, you really can sniff out those relationships really fast. So that's how we've done it. It's community, it's therapy, it's definitely talking to someone when we're having trouble talking to each other, which happens. And it's also embracing and showing up for each other.
That's beautiful and it's powerful. You know, we have to take care of our mental health, and I am encouraging women at all time to talk to someone, which brings me to another topic. I heard you mention that you started limiting how much news you consume, and you're being intentional about your social media algorithms. And so we really need to protect ourselves from the chaos in the world and all of the things. I used to pride myself on, I work all day, and I'll, you know at night I might give myself 30 minutes of scrolling through Facebook or something to catch up, and I still do. But it's very difficult. Share with me what you're talking about doing in 2026 to protect yourself from the chaos of social media and the news. How are we going to keep our good vibes in?
Well, these algorithms are interesting, right? These are things we didn't have to worry about when we were younger. But now the algorithms really control your whole mood, or can control your whole mood. I am constantly adjusting my algorithm because I like social media. I like to scroll. I like to be on. I laugh at memes. I send them to my friends. I mean, it gives me joy in a lot of ways. It's also something I have to be on for my businesses. I have to be on social media for Hollyrod Foundation. I have to be on social media for certain brand partnerships that I have. So I like it. So I have to constantly make it a place that's positive. Now, I'm a very I'm a political person. I'm somebody who cares about this country, who cares about what's going on. I like to know what's happening. I don't like to be in the dark about things, but there's a certain level of consummation that when we consume too much bad news and bad things, it really messes with your brain's algorithm.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
we have to be, I am very perfectly aware that I need to know what's going on. I have a friend, by the way, not to segue, who shuts all of it out. And then when I talk to her, I like it because she's kind of naive to what's going on. But then I find myself having to explain to her stuff that's going on that's really heavy and deep. And then that makes me sad because I have to, like, you haven't heard about this? Oh my gosh, this happened yesterday.
Yeah.
So I like being aware of things, but it takes a very strong effort on my part, very deliberate effort to keep certain things out. I will scroll past certain things. I will not marinate in things that make me feel really sad. When Rob Reiner and his wife were
Uh,
were so sadly lost their lives out here at the hands of their own son, I was coming from Bali, Indonesia, which is kind of like my little happy country, happy place. It's very zen there, and I went there with my sons, two of my sons, and I shut the world out. And I turned my social media off, and I did this for almost 2 weeks, and it was a lot. And as soon as I turned it on to go back on the airport, that was the first thing I saw. I knew them. I didn't know them super well, but I've definitely known them. And I was like, all of this dread started flooding in. Now, obviously, that's a big deal, so I wanted to know about it, and I wanted to send my condolences to the family. But you have to limit how much of this you're going to deal with. And That's another 2026 uh, find my joy uh, resolution that I'm working on, because I don't want to live in the dread. But you know what? There's also a reality to where we're living right now, Dr. Sheila, and I do like to be involved in contributing to positive feedback and contributing to someone's positive algorithm.
And you're right. We need to know in order to know how we can help those in our network, because our network is our net worth. Women, I work mainly with women leaders, trying to help them navigate through barriers that actually don't have to if they just apply some tools and resources. You and I both have been in our careers long enough to know what we're worth. How do how to advocate for ourselves financially. So talk a little bit about what you would share to some of our listeners about making sure that you are negotiating what you're worth.
Mm.
Back in the day, I know me personally, I remember my career when I was in my early 20s. I was so happy that they wanted me. Oh, you wanted me? I didn't even question the pay. I was so happy that they wanted me. But today, we need to hold both firm to purpose and profit. So let me hear what you have to
Ooh.
say.
Oh, Dr. Sheila, that's a deep question because everything has shifted now. Because yes, back in the day we were so excited just to be, someone to see our value and be like, okay, I don't care what you pay me, I'm going to work here. And then we came into a season where we were like, oh no, I know my worth, and you gonna know my worth too, and I'm going to deliver over deliver for you. And there was a period of time where I felt like we were more valued, and we were in the C suites. We were getting closer to the C suites, and we were really, we could really go in and make an argument for why we needed or why we should have more or get more, and be compensated for what we bring to a company. But now there's been a rollback. So with DEI and what's happening with this whole season of devaluing what we bring as Black women to
Mhm.
a company, this is going to take an extra layer of self worth that we have to go inside and find. This is going to take an extra layer because while we ride through this uh, phase of we're not valuable because we don't need the diversity anymore, we are going to have to dig a little bit deeper as Black women, as women in business, to understand that this is just a time and it's going to pass. So in the meantime, I tell friends of mine to constantly write down, to constantly journal, to constantly affirm themselves and know that their value, while it may not be seen as much as it has been maybe 4 or 5 years ago, is still there and that it will come back around. And so we have to stay focused. We have to stay positive. We have to stay hopeful. We have to stay prayerful. We have to kick in our faith even higher, to be mindful that we are worthy. And guess what? We have communities like yours.
Yeah.
We have to find our own people. We have to find our tribes and get value from them, and get support from them. But it's a very tough time right now. So I am constantly telling younger women in their 30s who are trying to get started and they're asking me, I'm trying to tell them, yes, you are going to argue for your value, but you're going to do right now, it's going to be about the work. You're going to have to show that you're valuable. And there may be someone that's going to leapfrog you that is not giving what you're giving, but you're going to stay steady and we're going to get to a better time when your value is going to be seen. But right now, it's a difficult time to give out that advice. I definitely agree with that. But again,
Hold on.
ramp up that faith, ramp up that hope, find your community, find organizations and people like you, Dr. Sheila, who is going to give you the tools to lift yourself up and feel better about yourself, and stay faithful and prayerful.
Amen. So as we're nearing our time together, I want to share with the audience. We were talking about the joy of 2026. We're just going to go through some fast paced, just a couple of things practical tips that our listeners can implement today. So on morning reset, walk us through what's a non-negotiable for your morning. Is it a walk? Is it, what is it, your morning or morning routine that someone could implement right away? That's a non-negotiable.
Affirmation, affirmation, affirmation. There are so many amazing apps. We need to use technology. My favorite one is the Calm app. I really like that app. There are a couple apps that are a little bit more geared for African American women that are out there as well. But find your app. It's so convenient because our faces are in our phones. They just
Yes.
are, right? So I put on my app and I do like a daily affirmation, and it's intention setting that is non-negotiable for me.
All right.
Every single morning when I wake up, I will listen to my daily calm or my daily affirmation, and this is what I'm taking into this day. That is non-negotiable. That and practicing gratitude every morning, writing down three things that you're grateful for going into the day. Now, once you step out of the bed and something happens and you start getting them calls and the negative emails start coming in, or you got a lot of work, okay, so a lot of that calm energy that you have may dissipate, but you will start your day with an intention to have a positive day. It makes a difference.
All right. I love those tips. So, lastly, what do you do when you find yourself, you say, you know what? I'm just too busy. I cannot find any joy. You feel the stress ramping up. You could be, you started your morning with affirmation, you've checked in with your gratitude, you're all in your day, and then boom, how do you control that busyness and make sure that you are still finding joy? Because, like you said earlier, joy is about the journey.
Meditation, breath work is even easier because meditation kind of requires you being in a space we all don't have a silent dome that we can be in, like we're around a lot of noise. Breath work is really key. Even just breathing in, holding your breath for 4 or 5 seconds, breathing out long and deep. Do that 5 or 6 times. And there are apps that do that too as well. Like you can find that app that works for you. But I find that when I get into a really super stressful scenario, nothing calms me down better than breath work in the moment. Now, if you're up here and you're high strung, you have to figure out ways to self-soothe. And in some ways, I learned that from RJ because with autism, you're constantly trying to regulate your body. And for
Okay.
him, his self soothing method is jumping on a trampoline. So, guess what? I started doing that. I started doing 100 jumps on RJ's trampoline. And this is now, mind you, he's 28 now and still jumping on this thing. But since he was a little boy, that would regulate his body. So even if you have in your office one of those little mini trampolines that you could put on the floor, jump on that thing for 20 times. If you can get to 100, I guarantee you will re-regulate your body and calm down those tense moments and those moments where your brain is just going haywire.
Oh, that's awesome. I can't wait to share that news with my niece for my nephew. So, Holly,
Yes.
you've given us so many great nuggets. So wonderful to have this. But what projects should we be looking out for you in 2026? How can we support you, and how can we support not just your career, where we can watch you, follow you, but the Holly Rod Foundation work, and how can we connect with your causes? How can we support that as well?
Well, we have a new revamped website, which I love. Wait till you see it, Dr. Sheila. You're going to love it. It's brand new, like literally the last couple days. And that has made a big difference. So that's a great place to find resources for autism. It's a great place to get hope. It's a great place to just find out what we're doing in the programmatic space. Very excited about hollyrod.org's new website. It is so cute, and I love that. I have a show called Weather Hunters. It's an animated show. So if you have kids, look on PBS Kids for Weather Hunters. It's from the mind of Al Roker, who's a great friend, and it's all about a family of weather superheroes. It's very, very cute, and we go on these weather adventures. And I play Dot Hunter, who is a real fun mom, and these adorable kids and our dog. We go on these cool weather adventures. Just such a sweet cartoon on PBS Kids. Um, The shows Queen's Court and King's Court are streaming now. We're waiting to find out if King's Court might have a new home. It won't be on Bravo again, so which I'm a little bit sad about, but I'm hoping that it will have a new home. I have a recurring part on a new show called Boston Blue, which I'm so excited about. I went and shot my first episode. It's a big CBS hit with Donnie Wahlberg and some great actors. And that's sort of where I started with the 21 Jump Street, police procedural. So that was fun to kind of go back and do that. And I have a couple new Hallmark movie projects that are going to be coming out at Christmas 2026. And and you know me, I'm always working on something. If, I'm producing some projects, doing a lot of pitching right now of different projects. One of them that I'm really excited about is a potential sitcom idea that I have based on RJ's life, kind of like a young man with autism finding his way in a clubhouse, in a locker room. And so those are some of the projects that I'm working on now.
Congratulations, Holly. You
Thank
truly
you.
deserved it. You have earned the honor, and we are excited to follow you in your journey and to support you in every way we can. We will make sure that we have the websites and the information at the end of the podcast where people can click a link to go visit the new website. We can't wait. I thank you for being here, and thank you for even letting me serve alongside you at the foundation. It's been such an honest honor to witness your leadership up close in front. As I said, audience, I know this woman is the real deal. We all love being a part of the incredible work you're doing. So thank you. I'll let you have the final words. Um,
Yes. I'm just going to say this. First of all, thank you for having me. This is a great, you talk about affirmation. This is a great way to help people live their best life. Um, you asked me at the top, how do I live my best life? And that was like gratitude. But another way is really just showing up for yourself and others. And what I want to say to you is thank you, Dr. Sheila, for showing up for so many. And I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for this podcast. I'm always grateful for the opportunity to talk. As you see, I'm very loquacious. I can't help it. It's in my DNA. And I love this format. I love this format to be able to reach your audience. And I look forward to talking to you again. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for living your best life. Subscribe for more episodes that will help you thrive and live like a power boss. You can also listen to Living Your Best Life on all major podcast platforms. Share with others in your life and visit lydlpodcast.com.